and welcome to Nerdy Gaming with a Rabid Beaver. I hope you guys are doing wonderful out there, wherever you guys are at. We are just going to be talking a little bit today about none other than if the PS4 in 2026 is worth the squeeze today. All right, guys, I hope each and every one of you are doing wonderful wherever you guys are at. We're just going to be chatting a little bit about it and talking directly to you guys to really see if if it's worth the squeeze today. I mean, I don't really know. We can find out together. So on eBay and everywhere that you can find it, you can find a regular PS4 for around 70 to 80 bucks roughly. A PS4 Pro between 160 and 200 bucks. And really the difference in quality is going to be your frame rate and load speeds on them. And do they really hold up in 2026? I mean, in 2026, we know that you can play games such as the new Call of Duty like Black Ops 7 that just got released back in November. Fortnite is one of the largest games that's going to be out there. Marvel, the new Marvel game for live action just got dropped for them, and you can play all those games on it. But how does it really hold up? What does it do to hold itself up? And I don't really have any proof about what I'm about to say because I don't have mine plugged up currently. Because we currently have our PS5 plugged up and ready to roll. PS5 is running between 60 and 120 frames per second, roughly, whenever we play it. And the base PS4, not the Pro, but the base PS4 normally runs about 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second, sometimes, depending on the game and the limitations of the hardware that you've got inside of it. So there are some things you can do for about 70, 80 bucks to upgrade one and try to make it out. So you'd still be in about the $140 range if you upgraded a regular one. And the big thing is changing that old hard drive out and putting an SSD hard drive in it. If you change that hard drive out of the PS4, you put an SSD in it, and you download all the software for it, your load times drastically change. So load times on, let's say, the new Black Ops 7, for a regular PS4, you're going to be roughly about 45 to 50 seconds on a regular one without the SSD added into it. And with it, you go to about 30 frames per second or 30 seconds roughly for it. And then if you get the Pro model, your load times are normally about 16 to 22 seconds, somewhere around in there for it, for loading screens, moving in between each screen. So you do have a little bit of differences in between the hardware and the software. The PS4 Pro, they added a lot more into it. And then if you change that hard drive out, you change that old disk hard drive out, and you put an SSD in it, it gets even faster for you. So there is a lot of good stuff, not to mention the extreme library that's out there for the PlayStation 4 right now. Reverting back to PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3 games that they have remastered for the PlayStation 4. So the library is extremely good. Now, I know you're saying, why are you wanting to buy a PlayStation 4 in 2026 when on my PlayStation 5, I can go ahead and play the PlayStation 4 games. I can put the disc in and download it, and I can already have those games added to it, and I can buy them directly from the store. Why would I want to do it? Well, there's a couple reasons. For one, collectability right now is extremely well for the PS4, especially with them being so low. Now, I understand where you're coming from on the 4, if you're saying, or the PS4 Pro, if you're coming from it and saying, well, it's 180 bucks. If I just put, another 80 bucks with it, I can get a used PS5. Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. But the thing about it is these machines are going to be gaming moguls. I mean, they're going to have everything that you want inside of them, especially if you homebrew them and put your own software on them. You jailbreak them out there is what they like to call it. You put your software on it and you change that software up for them. They're going to be wonderful, wonderful little machines that you can use for anything. And that's really the case then. I don't really want to make it the focal point, but I'm saying the hardware doesn't have that many limitations to do stuff like that with it and homebrew it and make sure that the games will run smoothly on them. It'll just do great. Now, there are some limitations with certain games. Like, I know some people have tried to run PS3 games and tried to emulate PS3 games on the PS4, and it didn't work out very well on the original models. However, there's new emulation out where you can emulate them through that emulator. I can't think of what it's like, an EM2 emulator, but I can't think of the name who makes it. But that brand new emulator, it runs the PS3 smooth on it. I mean, they were running Resistance Fall of Man, and they did a side-by-side comparison to the old emulator versus the new emulator. The old emulator was running maybe 10 to 12 frames per second, and it was all over the place. And under the new emulator, the EM2 emulator, it was running about 30 frames per second. So it was trying to hold the original integrity and original value of some of the games that did not come out for the PlayStation 4, but was originally on the PlayStation 3. So there's a lot of that that's going on. And then if you're into the home brewing scene, I know I'm not trying to make this a focal point, but if you're into it, the PS2 emulators and the PS2 games, like I know there's a lot of people who play NFL 2K, like the original NFL 2K5. And they love it, and they just emulate it and change things with it and pop it through and let it go. But that's one of the big factions for it, is you can emulate it and put those games on it and play as you want and play it as long as you want with them. The limitations to it are on the hard drive, though. So you can add safely on the Pro model. I would say you can go all the way up to 2 terabytes with it safely and be perfectly safe with it. Now, on the original model, you can only put that 1 terabyte in it. But, you know, with that being said, you can do a whole lot if you're homebrewing. So, you know, it's kind of give and take on that. And then the options is for other games and things that are going on. Like, I know we've lost a lot of online support. We lost a lot of the features over the past year where they've tried to wipe it out. And then they're saying in the middle of 2026, like around April and March, they're going to start disconnecting some of the servers that are left for it. I know that we've went through this before with the PlayStation 3, and I didn't like it. I'm not a fan of you losing your online play, because there's a lot of games that have online trophies that you have to get for online play, and they don't give you the option or the ability to get those trophies after those games are cut off and after you've had that time with them. And, you know, everybody comes into games differently at different times, and I think that's another thing that PlayStation, Xbox, you know, Sega, when Sega was out, they really need to realize that is I might pick up a game a year from now that's been out 12 years or 13 years, and it'll be my first time playing through it. And I'm a casual gamer. I've got tons of games out here. I game all the time. But it just might be that one day that I pick something up and I say, I'm going to play this all the way through, and I'm going to deal with it all the way through, and we're going to have a fun time playing this game and making it work. So you got to look at that aspect of it too. Other than that, I mean, most of the online features are still there for, well, not all social media features, but most of the social media features, most of the share play, most of your messaging and all that stuff is still available to it. And same thing with the PlayStation 3, the messaging and stuff is still there. But they cut out stuff like Live with PlayStation for the PlayStation 3. And we've gone over that in another video extensively. So we're not going to try to do that here, but you know, the apps that were coming out with most of those have started to fade away for the PlayStation 4. The original apps have started to fade away, including some of the sports apps and some of the live streaming apps like Crackle went away on the PlayStation 3, also on the PlayStation 4. You know, once they got bought out, WWE Network, of course, went away a long time ago, years ago. And so on and so forth. But they've started phasing out some of those things. NBA TV, all of it, MLB TV, all that stuff is starting to phase out on the consoles. So you kind of get into a point to where if you're using it as a streaming device, then you're going to have to upgrade one way or another. And that's kind of the downfall on it. I think that's really where you're going to be off. But in the years to come, now we know there's millions, like hundreds of millions of PlayStation 4s out there in the wild currently. And, you know, that's going to be the market in it, is what models do they have? How collectible will they become? And what will happen in the years to come? So that's why I'm saying right now, while the prices are cheap, and I mean cheap, $60, $50, $70 for original fat PlayStation 4. You can find the slims for about $60 to $70, sometimes a little bit higher than that. I've saw a couple for $85. And then the pros, like I said, between $140 and $180. $160 is kind of like the going rate. $180 is kind of where everybody wants to stay on it. $160, $180, somewhere around in there. So right now is a really good time to buy for collecting and collectability and finding those rare models that you want to find, like the World War II model or the Modern Warfare 2 model or the Grand Theft Auto 5 model. I mean, there's lots of them out there in the wild. You just got to look for them and find everything with them that you can find. If you can get the cases with it, if you can get all the candy inside the case with it, then now is the time to do it, because these consoles are not going to be cheap for long. And the collectability on these consoles is going to go through the roof within the next couple years, especially after all, and I mean all, of the online features are going to be going away for them. Kind of the support's already going to be starting to go this month. So they said in January that they're going to start cutting down support for the PlayStation 4s. So as soon as the support goes for them, it's going to be a free-for-all out there in the world. And then you're going to see the collectability start really going up. And games are kind of mid-range price right now, but you're going to see some games go through the freaking roof in the next 2 to 3 years on the PlayStation 4. That's my prediction on it, especially by the way that they're going to be talking about moving out of the PlayStation 5 era and into the PlayStation 6 era as it's coming. So you might want to jump on some of this stuff now. You find a game for $15 or $20 and you don't think it's worth paying for right now. In a year or two, that game might be worth $40 to $50. So just sitting there and throwing that out there for you guys. And, you know, there's going to be lots of them. There's going to be lots of games. I mean, there's lots of places to get them, lots of pawn shops that you can go to, lots of secondhand stores that you can go to. So just wherever you guys can fit in and get those games, that would be a top-notch place to do it. So back to the original question, is buying a PlayStation 4 in 2026 going to be worth it? I think so. I think for the collectability market that's on them right now, and for what you can do with the PlayStation 4 and the games library, I believe that is a great time to buy a PlayStation 4. And for those of you that skipped the entire generation and was either with Xbox or you went to Nintendo for the Switch, there's a lot of games that are still out there that are awesome games for the PlayStation 4 that you should be checking out. There's a lot of games that you should be playing and you should get your hands on today. And I don't want to sit here and just hype the system up, because it's got its limitations. Both of them got their limitations, the Pro and the original PlayStation 4. But you do have a lot more features and things that are going to be out there that are going to be harder to find, such as the HHD, you know, the virtual stuff that was going on with it. So, you know, your VR, all your VR stuff is going to be extremely hard to find in a couple years for it. And you can catch some of that stuff dirt cheap, 50, 60, $70. And the Rifts, the Oculus, and different things for those. The PlayStation VR headsets are on sale right now at pawn shops. Like I saw one for $35 the other day, and it was in immaculate shape in a box. So, you know, you can find this stuff in the wild if you're just willing to look for it. And, you know, people just are willing to trade that stuff in right now. So it's a good time to start looking for the games, looking for the extra hardware, looking for the pieces. Hey, an Astrobot helps you look for it. If you don't know what you're doing, go play some Astrobot on the PS5 and check out everything that comes with it in the puzzle pieces area off of Astro's Playroom. Sorry, yeah, it's the Playroom. So Astrobot's Playroom there. That's the game that you play, and it'll show you different pieces through history that you can collect. And those are collectibles in real life now, especially the PSP stuff on it. But the PlayStation 4 is going to be extremely collectible within the next couple of years. Just wait, guys, and see if I'm telling you the truth. Now, here's something to think about as well when you're collecting these consoles. You need to look at the serial numbers, because all the serial numbers are different. Are you going to get an H, an A, a K, a G? What model are you going to get? Because they revised the board about 6 different times for the original, and for the PlayStation Pro, they did 4 different revisions on the Pro. So there's different models out there that you can look for and that you can get. Some are worth a little bit more. Some are worth a little bit less. Just find one that you like. If you're going to use it to play games, just find one that you like. That's all you got to do. So that's the Nerdy Gaming with the old Rabbit BVDVDver today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope to see you soon on another show. Thank you guys so much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.